Okay, this is part 2. Things went a little bit quicker because I already closed up the wall. I got my mud, I got my tape on. The only thing I'm finding, the mud I'm using is too soft, or it isn't mixed properly because I'm kind of rushing to do the job. I got these little bubbles in it. I like the light lime green top, the lightweight stuff. The lightweight blue top is okay on the 5-gallon containers, and the green, the old school stuff, is actually okay. You can get them in 1-pound buckets, but it seems the vendors I get from, they sell whatever cheapest stuff that they can get, and that's what I gotta deal with sometimes. But nevertheless, I'm hoping you get the proper illustration this time using my camera like I promised. I'm not using my iPhone, okay? So hopefully things come out much better. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. Okay, this is part 2. I'm gonna have a little shadow while I'm working, so I apologize about that. But this is manual focus. I automatic focus to put it on manual focus on the lens. This is my EOS R with a 35mm f1.5. Okay, should be a lot better than, per se, my iPhone yesterday. My knee getting away and stuff like that. 14-inch blade. Might not need it for this one, but it's here anyway. Of course, I didn't clean my knives yesterday. Made a mess. But this is mostly for illustration. It's not a perfect job. So I'm satisfied with it so far. I can't really complain too much. Like I said, I don't like sanding. It just makes a mess. You never really get all the powder up unless you're a really good professional with a great vacuum. Because this stuff will not work through a regular vacuum bag. You need like a HEPA filter or something because the dust is so fine. I'm just going to use a knife and see what comes off, what doesn't come off. See how bad we are. There's a little guy right there. Okay. I'm not getting a lot of difficult anywhere, so that's a good thing. So I'm not really dissatisfied with what I see so far. I think we did okay for our first coat. This is the top here. Probably a screw there. That would be the bottom there. So it's in the image. This would be the side of that tape. This would be the side of this paper tape. So the whole image is pretty much in view, so that's a good thing. Let's get our mud out and work our second coat. And that should be it for this video. I shouldn't have to show you me sanding and priming it and paint it. There's a couple different types of sand that you can do. Use the sandpaper. You can wet sand it, which works in instances like this okay because I don't have a lot of rough stuff to sand. Okay, and the whole idea is when you're mudding, you're not trying to get a belly like that. Okay, you're trying to get it smooth as possible. Okay, especially you do your final sand. You see, I'll do what like I did yesterday. I'll put some mud on it and I'll start working it. The first coat is always the most difficult. Second coat goes on so much faster. So does like the third and fourth coat. Okay. It just goes on so much easier, so much faster. I think yesterday I spent 12 minutes making the first part and I had to speed up a good part of it because that was the part I got my knee in the way. I wasn't happy about that. So, and I did put in the video that you can go to 10-minute mark so you don't have to deal with this. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. And I think I'm going with the 14-inch blade today so I don't have to do a ton of work. It should come out pretty fast, pretty easy. Should be able to end the video pretty quick, hopefully. Alright. And make sure that blade is clean enough. Trying to get a decent finish. Okay. Let's see what we got there. Okay. Okay. As you can see, things are starting to come out really good. And believe it or not, here's where you slow down you don't work it too much. You leave it alone. Okay, I'm pretty much done for today, believe it or not. So you think that was too fast? Actually, no, it wasn't. Like I said, second, third coat goes on really fast. I got a couple of areas here that are not filled in, but I want this to set. You see I have ridges going sideways in a couple of different areas? There's nothing wrong with that. What I'll basically do is, I'll show you what I'll do in a second. As soon as I get this cleaned up the best I can. Okay. Now I'm going to curve my knife a little bit. There we go, so we don't mess it up too much. Same thing on this side. We still got a little bit there, so sorry. Okay. I don't want to work this too much. Okay, that's fine. I got one line there, which is very easy with a blade tomorrow to deal with. I'm happy with that. Well, I could have even left it alone the way it was. So since I got lines going this way, my final coat is going to go this way. And it'll even out very, very nicely. Okay, so you can sand, you can wet sand it, you can use a blade. That is the second coat. I'm all done. Not much more to do. Maybe a little light sanding with the blade. Put on the final coat. I don't have to sand a lot. And I can actually prime it and paint it. If you don't prime it, you'll see the spot look darker with the paint. It won't come out right, and the finish will be wrong. It'll be a totally different finish. 100 grit is pretty good to use for sanding, for priming, and a semi-gloss finish like this. Okay. Okay, this should be the last, quickest part. And again, I very much apologize about the first part. I'm using my cell phone. Should be a lot smoother now. Shouldn't have to do very much. Not going to bother with the prime and the paint. That isn't really necessary. Pretty sure you guys can do a little priming, a little painting. We're just getting involved in the mud work here. So that's all we're doing. I mean, not going too crazy. If we can help it. This is part 2, and I did have a little chunk there. I forgot to use the blade, but that's okay. Just doing finish work here, and I'm using the large knife for this, so I'm not entirely worried about it right now. I am worried that I made a mess, and I gotta clean it up. I got mud all over the place. The good part is you scrape up the big chunks and use a wet rag for the smaller stuff, and we should be fine after that. Shouldn't be very difficult. I did discuss what I was going to do because the way the lines went, and that's exactly what I'm going to do in a minute or so. There was something in there, but not too bad, hopefully. About there now. Starting to look pretty good. Starting to be satisfied with what I see. You know, I probably didn't have to mud the whole thing all over again, but we did it anyway, so I'm going with that. Satisfied with that. It's not because of the lines that I would go sideways, and that's what's going to work here, believe it or not. it right there. See if I can get it out. We got it out. Now I need some finished sanding. And that's about it. I don't need to do much more than what I got there ready. I should just basically leave that alone and do my final sand, and I should be good to go. I shouldn't have to do any more. Okay, once I do the final sand, I can do the primer paint, and that's it. End of part 2.